Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau, Samantha Perry with you. And you can see we only got the two surfaces going, but you can see that third surface coming together. I love that picture. Good work, guys. And the turf is, we'll talk about it over the weekend. Maybe have some more videos and pictures, but, it is in the process and it's looking pretty darn good out there.
It's looking great,
Yeah.
and they widened it as well to get. I got to find out if it's one or two extra lanes,
Right.
maybe, but I think maybe one. But this is awesome. It's exciting to see the green coming back.
No doubt about it. Good view there as well. We've got a fast main track. It's a beautiful day here. We hope to see you out here. There are 8 races on tap. We've got 2-year-old stakes throughout the weekend, which is
Huge weekend,
there's a lot of excitement too. And of course, on an 8-race card, horizontals through and through, and the Rainbow Six will be in race number 3 today, and we are up to $375,000, and we're fast approaching $500,000.
Yeah, it's getting up there, and it's going to continue to grow today, throughout the weekend. It'll be exciting to kind of see how that's starting to shape out, because tomorrow could be a day where somebody could take it down, I think.
Tomorrow is difficult.
Yep.
I'm not going to tell you it's easy today, but tomorrow is the day where you could really get aggressive, have a chance at sweeping this thing, and we'll see how it plays out today. And I'll have a ticket, early pick 5 in the opener though at $12.50 today. We'll take a look at my early pick 5 ticket in here, and even $50, probably not for the faint of heart, as I'm going to single my best bet of the day right off the rip at $12.50 with the 7 bold advance, and then I'm just spreading in race number 2. I got best bet long shot, great analogy for Happy Alter in there. Another single, Voya Vango, is going to be very, very tough in race 3. And look at that late double to get out of the sequence. It's a 5x5 with number 4 Smoke and Cloud on top. And in race number 5, I have the 4 Millennium Park on top. I'm excited to hear you talk about Divine. We've got a workout that you're going to show, because that's the firster in there. There are a couple of them in there. There are 3 of them in there. They all could be runners. They all could maybe need a start.
Yeah.
That's a really tricky race, and that is a really good race. Maiden special weight for older horses in there. But let's get to the opener. Pete will be with us a little bit later on. Pete does not have a lot to do today.
No.
There are only 2 scratches on the card, and I don't know about you, but neither of them were significant at all for me.
No.
So that is good. We like that. Everything kept together. Scratch the 1, the first-time starter. Mucho Macho Mac out of here for Antonio Sana. How about Antonio taking a 2-year-old up to Saratoga, winning yesterday? Congratulations.
Bro, yeah, we saw that horse here, and that's awesome.
Absolutely. Game is all heck in here. Okay, we both land on the same horse. I think maybe me a little more than you. I've got best bet time here with bold advance. Let's show the replay, maybe a little bit reason why.
Yeah, and this is just, this is a solid best bet. You see him here. This horse looked home free. The horse that comes and nabs him, the 10, who had to work for it, was a huge maiden special weight dropper for Todd Pletcher. I think they paid like $650 for the horse and was in for $12.5. Oh, it was a really strong effort by Bold Advance, who wasn't bet.
Nope.
And I think it was more just that horse make decisions kind of won on class alone.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I like the fact that our horse, he was a month clear of third,
right.
so it was not a blanket finish. Right. You look at the morning line in this race, and with the scratch of the 1, everybody is between 3 and 6 to 1, so you can kind of figure out it is a very competitive race.
Yeah.
If you can come up, I'm being aggressive here, if you can come up with someone like this, you really get a leg up on the betting public, who I think is going to view this as a spread kind of race.
Right.
Dollar bill, the other dollar bill. Well, the only dollar bill for you. You were not.
Yeah, exactly.
A little before your time, the other dollar bill for Dallas Stewart. But, he's okay. He ran pretty well last time to be second behind the Doorman, who was pretty good last time.
Yeah, and that was his barn mate as well.
Yeah, good call.
So, yeah, he didn't run bad at all. He was bet more than his stablemate as well that day, so I think that's a good thing. I think he kind of just got a little flat down the lane. He'll have to show a bit more today.
Yeah. Good to see Liz Doble's back in the entries, and John with Imaginary Belly of Jelly is certainly in the mix, and we've just got our underneath exact a little whacked around in there. Race number 2 kicks off the early pick 4. We are 6 furlongs on a fast main track. 3-year-old fillies are 4 and up, which have never won 2, and the tag here is a quarter, 25,000. We'll take a look at Samantha's ticket now.
Yep, I've got the early pick four. You've got the late pick
Is that
four.
how that works?
Yeah, it is. I'm singling right off the rip here with Looking for Hope. I think this horse first off the claim is going to be very tough. Race 3, just too deep for me. My long shot, Lucky Donnie G. I'm going to hope for a better effort this time. Race number 4, the 4 on top, Smoking Cloud, Hector Diaz. Look, take note of how he's
like him,
riding.
yeah.
Yeah, he's doing incredible right now, and just always, actually. And in race 5, the 6 on top for me, that's the first-time starter for Safi Joseph, but a couple others that could maybe be some newcomers and punch it, maybe add, subtract, do what you want. But this is $9. This is how I'm going to base my ticket.
That 5th race is so interesting
It is.
because, to be perfectly honest with you, the horses that we have seen in the afternoon have not really gone out of their way to acquit themselves, but yet the first-time starters who we'll talk about, you know, they're not blue bloods pedigree-wise either,
Right.
so I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to look at the tote board in that race as well, and of course you'll be out there, be here, and turn around and give a look to them. So let's get into the second race here. You're singling with the 5, Looking for Hope. We go off the claim from Jose D'Angelo. Looked good winning last time for Safi. Jose's 25% off the claim, just kind of the onward and upward angle for you?
Yeah, exactly. This was an impressive victory from this filly. She's had a nice amount of time, just a month and a couple days since that race. I love that for her. This is a filly that she just seems like she can continue on this path here. And these are the top 2 leading trainers here. So if she can just keep the foundation that Safi's done so well with her, and Jose D'Angelo, I have no doubt in my mind he will, she should be solid.
Yeah, and she just beat 2 of her main rivals, Olga
Exactly.
and Great Analogy. Now, normally I would nitpick because she's a 3-year-old filly that's never run against older horses.
Right.
These are all 3-year-olds in here.
Exactly. So you can't,
Yeah, even though it's 3-year-olds and up, there's no older ones in here. I'm taking a shot and for 2 different reasons. Maybe Looking for Hope regresses a little bit.
Okay.
Great Analogy. There's going to be a lot of pace in here, and whereas last time Looking for Hope had the advantage being outside of Olga,
Right.
she's inside now. So the flow of this race, to me, looks like it could be pretty hot. Great Analogy cut back last time. So, you know, we talk about it on the Tapeta all the time when you're routing and you cut back to 5.5, how sharp it is for you. Well, she was routing a 1-turn mile, and those are tricky races as well.
They are.
She cut back to 6. Let's take a look at a stat, too, for Happy Alter, who, you know, very quietly has done good work this year, and this is extended out for 3 years. Dirt Sprints here. Look at the ROI, and at 17%. This is the old, you will not see her early, but I'm hoping you're going to see her late. She's going to run on. How many does she pass? I don't know, but she's a square price. She's 8s on the line, and I think that's fair, and I think that's correct. Maybe she gets a little meltdown.
Yeah, and usually this one post position is not always ideal, but for the way she runs and picks up horses, this is perfect for her.
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't. There's not a worry there.
No.
At all. Go Lil Lady for Mike Yates, second off a little bit of a freshening. She's going to have to run a lot better. She's going to have to show a little more stretch stamina this time.
She will, and that was off of a long layoff, so you can only assume that she's going to go forward from there. And what I like is she came back and was bet well in that effort. And Sadie Bear, we'll see her Sunday. We talk about that race. I think that was actually a really productive race. Sadie Bear ended up running like a 64 buyer. So if you kind of extrapolate that information and think, okay, second off a layoff, this is a filly that can move up here for Mike Yates.
Yeah, I could see it. She had Lasix last time, so it's second Lasix. The further we get away from the April 16th for race for Olga, the more and more I kind of just think that was the exception.
And not the
the rule. She ran fine last time. I'm not taking anything away from her. She was 3 lengths behind Looking for Hope, but she ran a 60. That 72, that good thoroughbred figure. We're further away from it, but she does get a big edge here being outside Looking for Hope today. 2 down, that means there's 6 to go on an 8-race Friday card. When we come back, Rainbow 6 time, $375 in the gross jackpot guarantee.
And they're off.
My racehorse has opened up a door for people that felt like that door would have never been opened for them.
We can all be owners and we can all get that excitement.
You can meet your horse through the different experiences and all of the events that My Racehorse puts together. You get that hands-on connection.
Whether you have $50 or $500, everyone that joins My Racehorse gets that experience of a lifetime.
I love My Racehorse. Let's go.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian and Samantha with you. It's a beautiful day here in Hollandale Beach. We hope to see you out here. Silks is ice cold. And we got the AC rolling as well. And we got a good card here for you. And in race number 3, we've got $375,000 in the gross jackpot guarantee. This is a good ticket for me here. I don't know how many people are going to piggyback this ticket. I get it, but this is just how it shakes out. And you'll agree with me. You got to play it how it shakes out. You don't play it just because race 3 you don't want to have a single to start. That's how the game is played.
Nope, it's great.
Yep, and I feel like singling off the rip gives you a massive edge on the betting public. We will get to this race in a second. In race number 2, we've got the 4 Smoking Cloud. You can see the 2 big spreads in there. There's the maiden special weight in race number 5. I'll go experience with Millennium Park. In race number 6, we've got a replay to show you. Rough Entry on top. We'll show you Bird Wildcat in there. In race number 7, the 4 Foggy Note on top, right back for Ronnie Spatz. And then here's the single in race number 8. And I just, short rest, I get it, a week's rest, okay. I don't really see any path where Forever Uncaptured does not win the finale at a short number, and that is the anchor for me.
I think it's solid.
Yeah, I think so. And I like coming back on short rest. I think it's a positive, confident move.
Especially with this level.
Couldn't agree with you more. You got to strike while the iron's hot, and I think he showed now he really is a dirt horse and has no problems with it. So let's get to race 3. We'll go 5 on the Tapeta. These are maiden claimers, 3 and up. The tag is 12-5. All right, you're going with the 3, Lucky Donnie G, a third-time starter who's going to run on the Tapeta for the first time.
Yeah, this is a horse that I liked a lot last time. I think you were on him as well. We showed the replay at Tampa. The horse just kind of went for the rafters, but then once he straightened up down the lane at Tampa, he bellied down, and it was an impressive effort. And I thought that this horse would handle the dirt just fine. Well, we were wrong about that.
We were very wrong
yeah,
about that.
he didn't even really do any running at all. I'm gonna try to hope that he does like the Tapeta here. He's trying it for the first time. I'm willing just to give him one more shot here.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think it's pretty clear now. We can draw a line
through the dirt.
Yeah, through the dirt race. Now the question remains to be seen. This is obviously much bigger leagues here at Gulfstream than Tampa, and what happens. And that was also one of the 2 days Tampa comes back to run. Is that that funky Florida thing going on there? June 30th and July 1st. The Tapeta would make sense for this horse.
It would.
Yeah, this horse can't get on the turf yet, and we can't wait, but not yet. So this is the chance. And you're going to get a square price because I think the betting public's going to see that total no-show, and they're going to see it was at here, and they're going to view that Tampa race with a little skepticism.
Yeah, and it's a shot. That's why they call it a long shot, and it is. And I think he's much more talented than he's shown.
Yeah.
We'll just see if he can put it together.
Yeah, we showed that race, I remember
did,
last time, too. And he was getting out, and then when he finally did level off,
he took off.
He did take off, yeah. So I can see it. Regardless if he takes the Tapeta or not, he's going to have a problem with the 4 if the 4 runs back to that race last time. I don't really know what happened to back, and maybe that's just that sometimes they throw clunkers in on the Tapeta. But I know he was 4th last time, but that was a race that will handily beat this group.
It will, and Edwin Gonzalez actually lost his whip down the lane in that last race as well, so.
And the other thing, too, is this horse got totally fried dueling with the eventual winner. So I think that stacks up, too.
Exactly.
I don't really necessarily see anyone running. Edmund might take the approach, listen, I'm on the best horse here. You can come get me. If we break, all bets are off. So I think Voyavenga is going to be very, very tough in there. Late pick 5 time in race number 4. Samantha's got a ticket, and I'll be interested to see what you're doing here. 5.5 on the Tapeta, 3 and up or 4, which have never won 3. So you're spreading a little bit here, too, because this is a tricky race.
It is, and this was a ticket that I could have made a lot more expensive. I got my best bet in the 6th race. We will get to that. But in this 4th race, Smoking Cloud on top for me, Hector Diaz and Kathy Ripp voting and dropping class. Race 5, Divine on top for me. But I think that there's some other players, kind of like Brian is thinking, that this could maybe blow up just a little bit. Race 6, this is my best bet of the day, Morgan Point. Love the trainer change here. I'm just a big fan of this horse here today. Race 7, the 2 on top for me. No action for Rohan Crichton. And in the finale, yeah, this is a problematic race. It's almost like nobody wants to win is how I feel. But the Novelli on top for Safi Joseph.
Rohan almost had a big score for us off the claim
Oh,
at
yeah.
Del Mar yesterday, but we couldn't see it out a race later. But Rohan, very, very sharp, that guy.
Very.
We know that. So let's start it off here in race number 4. And you've got, I don't know if that's your order, 4, 5, 6, okay, 4, 7, 5. They're the 3 I have as well. I used a few more in my horizontals, but the 4 Smoke and Cloud certainly figures if you look back to the Tapeta races, 2 and 3 back.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at, and I think this horse might be overlooked just because you do have to dig a little bit. But Hector Diaz Jr., look at him. He hasn't rode a lot of races here, but he's 20% in the money. Everything he's riding, they're not even money favorites either.
No, he's some prices.
He is, and he puts them in spots to win. He gets aggressive with them, and if they're not going to win, he's at least going to set him up to have the best chance.
No, I agree with you totally. He's a very underrated rider that has, as he rides for good barns at Tampa, at Monmouth, Chad Brown, Bleecker Street we talked about. So he knows what he's doing and where to put horses. Again, we've got our underneath exacta reversed a little bit. You've got a 7. The 7, Eternal Flame. What happened last time and what are we getting today? That's the question.
Yeah, that's
right.
But like you said, sometimes these horses can just throw clunkers at you.
Yeah.
He's drawn well this time. I don't know.
This horse was widest last time,
Yes.
but I thought he had every chance in the stretch and just could not make a dent at all. We've got a stat on the 5 Grand Valley for Victor Barboza Jr. here, and I've got Grand Valley in 2nd, and this isn't bad at all.
No, it's not. This is with Victor Barboza winning last out, 18%, 205 ROI on the Tapeta. It's just a strong stat here. He's very good at keeping these horses in good condition. And this is a stat that I've really liked to lean on, especially this meet, because we've been seeing a lot of horses come back.
Right back on Tapeta, 18%.
I know.
That was your stat,
I know.
That's going to throw your hand, you're all out of whack. This database you're not compiling.
With Foggy Note, we'll circle back to that because I've got a new theory. So
you've got a new theory.
Yeah.
All right, I'm excited to hear that. Late pick 4 time in race number 5. We'll skip my ticket as I clear some bugs out of the way here because it's a run back of my rainbow, but I want to talk a little bit more in depth on this race because this is a really good race we're going to run here. 7 furlongs on the main, which I like a lot. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. There are 3 first-time starters. There are 4 runners with experience. You're going to show some video of Divine, one of those first-time starters, a homebred for Peter Blum.
Yeah, and you don't usually see Safi with a lot of horses from Peter Blum, which is interesting. Now, he's in the inside here. Geothermal's on the outside. Geothermal's already won before, but...
Oh, Geothermal.
Yeah, the old friend of ours. And Divine just cruises. I mean, I love the way he's wanting to do so much more, and the rider's just kind of trying to keep him in hand there, and I like to see that with the horse that's working now. That was a little bit of an older work, but I think it's good to show that this horse has an incredible foundation already leading up to this, and sometimes the inner track of Palmettos can get a little bit deeper, and just the way he was really just cruising across it and wanting to do more, this horse, you never have to worry about them with Savvy about being fit, and she looks it.
No, and there's a plethora of works on display. We've got firsters, we've got a Shadwell homebred, we've got a Whisper Hill homebred, we've got a Peter Blum homebred, 5, 6, and 7. The odd thing is they all could be real runners, clearly. A Bernardini, a Good Magic, but none of them have any pedigree.
No,
it's very bizarre.
It is interesting. You don't see that too often.
Not at all, and overanalyzed for Sweet Temptation, the 7. So let's talk now about my top pick, Millennium Park, who's one of those runners with experience. There's a lot going on here. Routing on the turf at Tampa, routing on the Tapeta here, routing on the turf here, and then I'm going back to the 2 main track starts. Those were pretty good races. She had some trouble She's, now that in theory she's bigger, stronger, and better and faster,
Right.
and Tom Proctor's going to put blinkers on too.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting move with her and see if it just kind of. I don't necessarily think it's a sharpen up play because she has shown some speed here, but maybe she just can wander a little bit, and this is a move that we'll see if it plays out.
Yeah, we've got no. I don't think it's surprising we don't have the 5. Art Zach in there, the Pletcher and Shadwell homebred. We'll give this one to give a look to, but I would think this one could take
A couple starts.
start or
Yeah,
two.
yeah, that's typically how the Shadwell horses
Yes,
usually play
always.
out because they're not in a huge rush to get them cranked up and rolling, and yeah.
Especially the homebreds, I think.
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
So that's an exciting race. That kicks off that late pick 4 as well. And it's been, if you're playing Samantha's late pick 5 or you're playing on your own, obviously, you look at the double wheel pace too. You want to see what's
Definitely.
going on
Yeah.
there, because if the 5, if the Pletcher Shadwell horse sitting up there, 13 to 1 or something, well, that's exactly what we've kind of been laying down. Maybe
Right.
going to take a start here. Race number 6, late pick 3 times, 6.5 on a fast main track. 3-year-olds are 4 and up, which have never won 3. The tag is 25,000. We've both got the 2 and the 6 in the mix, so I'll let you go with Morgan Point, who you said you have a very strong opinion on.
Yeah, this is my best bet of the day. This horse was claimed last time. Victor Barboza took the horse. He's so solid off the claim. This barn, he's just ticking all the right boxes at the moment right now. It's just such a big barn change and cuts back a little bit in distance as well. This horse has never tried the 6.5 furlong distance, but you look at that race, I get it. There wasn't really much running going on here, but Victor's had a month, a little over a month to get this horse right. I think watch out.
3 works on display as well, which I think is key. 30% off the claim. I went with the 6, rough entry. He's outside. It's Rohan.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he's been freshened up a little bit. He's going to be pressing from the outside. That's an advantageous post. Let's take a look at the 1 Bird Wildcat. Neither of us really have him in the mix in here, but this was the last race. He's on the outside, and you're going to just kind of see this is he got DQ'd in this spot, correct? And
Yes.
I don't know. This was a dead heat.
Oh, he was elevated to first, actually, and
excuse me.
he didn't ever look like he was going to win. I thought that they might play this horse, and I just kind of wanted to show that. It didn't really seem like he was going to win.
No, and quite frankly, I thought he did every bit as much damage as the horse to his inside. They might play him. You can see it's a weird race because it looks like he won by almost 7 lengths.
Exactly.
But it was a dead heat. So
Yep.
just tread a little lightly there is kind of what we're saying. I mean, he ran well. Don't get us wrong, but I think this is a much tougher group in here. Late double in race number 7. We'll sprint the 5.5 on the Tapeta. 3-year-old fillies are 4 and up, which have never won 2. The tag is 25 down to 20 in here, and again, we've got the exacta reverse. So you go with no action.
Yeah, I'm looking at that race 2 starts back here. It was a nice victory. Call me spicy for Jose D'Angelo. Came back to win again last weekend. It was a tough ask, I think, that last race was. It was just a little bit stronger competition here. It gets a little relief here today, and I think that this is a sign of a healthy horse just coming back in a few weeks.
Yep.
Looks good.
No, I don't disagree with you. I'm facing winners for the first time with Foggy Note, so that could be a little rude awakening. Ronnie Spatz does a good job with first-time starters. It's not necessarily the MO to crank them up. I thought this horse ran pretty well, Samantha. I mean, she made up 4 lengths. That's tough to do. She didn't just pop the field. She showed some, ability to settle off a little bit. And the winner came back to win, too. Or the runner-up, excuse me.
Yeah, who I do want to mention is like 0 for 26 today.
But that's a thing, That's in vogue.
It's a thing here. And now what I've noticed, and this is what I was excited to really hash out with you and get your opinion on, these horses that break their maiden finally on the Tapeta, they're more likely to double up right after breaking the maiden versus if they won a claiming 20 and they try to come back for claiming 20 or even claiming 10. I feel like these are a lot of these Tapeta horses. I'm not a big fan of them coming back to win again, but when they just break their maiden, even if they're an 0 for 26, like watch out for Martini's Amica when she comes back, because it's like they get that first taste of it, boom, they just double it right back.
There's something to be said, the old light bulb angle. I mean, when it goes on, they can pop right back, and we've seen it time and time again. And even if they don't win, they've run very well. And I think, You know, the betting public, and I'm as guilty of it as anyone. You see, you know, 1 for 27, and you throw that one
You
right out
don't
the
want to,
window.
yeah.
But I'd rather be 1 for 27 and coming in off a win than 1 for 27, and I can't see any dent that you've made on your page.
It's a fair point.
You know?
Yep.
Foggy, you know, goes up to a quarter, too. So Ronnie, you know, he kind of likes what he has here. He's
Right.
not saying, oh, well, I'll just run her back for 10 or what have you. No, she moves up from a quarter, so I think that's positive. Neither of us had the one Antrim, but she's kind of one of those horses. Was 0 for 11, 1, 2 back. You can draw a line through her last race. She had an absolute world of trouble. I don't really think she's a player in here, especially the cut back to such a snappy 5.5, but don't overlook her just because of her kind of no-show last time. Okay, let's wrap it up in race number 8. We're 6 furlongs on a fast main track. Fillies and mares 3 and up, 12-5 maiden claimers here. And we've got the replay of Novelli and Forever Uncaptured. This is Novelli's last race. It's Forever Uncaptured's race 2 back. You're going to have to talk me on to Novelli because when you see this, I just don't see how she beats Forever Uncaptured.
I get it. It's completely fair, and I just was thinking maybe a freshness angle here. Now, Novelli did much tougher work than anybody else in this race, and she's not a very sizable filly either, and she just took the rail. She did it the hard way. I think she's game with this, and I do understand that you like the fact that Forever Uncaptured is coming back. Just boom, put her right back in. But I think Novelli at least has some try in her, and that's not to say that Forever Uncaptured doesn't, because she does, and I get it. Novelli gets beat, you know, quite a bit here, but I'm just going to. My thought process was maybe that since she's a fresher filly.
Yeah, well, she is. That is clear and simple. We just saw him Forever Uncaptured last week. So, but you look at her 2 dirt races, and that was the first one. And don't forget, now Minxie's okay.
Yeah.
And A Kiss for Kozan. What happened last time with Forever Uncaptured, she kind of had a little stutter step start in that spot. And what happened, it allowed A Kiss for Kozan to get out there and get loose, and that was game over. So she couldn't make up for it. But she's going to be very, very tough in there. Certainly Novelli is in the mix. And then you're actually going to put, so you like Sophia Loren.
Yeah, I think.
The actress.
Yeah, oh, that's an actress? No, we'll have to talk about that. This is such an education all the time for me here. But for my elders. But this is a filly that, fingers crossed for no rain. We've been getting those showers because I'd like to see her on a faster track again. I put my hand over that race, the sloppy track, because it was very sloppy. Very sloppy that day.
To be sure.
And she ran third, but I just think if she gets on a fast track, and you look back at her races in March of 2022, over a year ago, she's a better filly now, and she's at her level. So, I don't know.
And she hasn't run on a fast main track for Jose Pinchin, so I can see that. And she's going to be a very square price in there as well. All right, 8 of them for you today. Before we let you go, the lightning round, as we do each and every Friday, we'll start with the standings. And as we kind of talk about each and every Friday, not a lot really has changed. We'll take a look at the jockeys first, and Leonel Reyes just keeping on. But now Edgar Zayas is going to go up to Saratoga tomorrow. He's going to ride in the stakes for Arundel. But no, this is a real good battle here for 2nd to 5th.
It is, and it'll be exciting to see just how it shifts throughout the next couple of months. Like you said, some of these riders, they've been popping out to go different places. And Misa Jaramillo popped out last weekend. But, yeah, it'll be exciting.
Trainers as well. We'll take a look at this. Safi and Jose D'Angelo are going at it here. Okay, that's as big as we've seen, I think, in many ever maybe during this Royal Palm meet, 8 wins.
Yep, it's starting to separate some. And, you know, Safi, noticed at Saratoga, he's been taking quite a few horses from here, and they're winning up at Saratoga.
Yeah, he's had a good meet up there.
Yep, and Jose D'Angelo, he's jumping in for a lot of horses. I wouldn't be surprised if he closes the gap some.
I could see it for sure. Victor Barboza had that nice Uncle Mo Firster win last week, so that was good to see for the barn as well. Best bet for you today.
It is in the 6th race,
Okay.
the 2 Morgan Point.
All right, I am in 26 minutes with the 7 Bold Advance in your long shot.
Lucky Donnie G, the 3
Okay.
and the 3rd.
I got happy in race number 2, the 1-horse, great analogy, 8-1 on the morning line, and I like the wording on this. This is a good lightning round here. The loaded tomorrow, and we've got 2-year-old stakes on Saturday for the Colts and Geldings, Sunday for the 2-year-old fillies. This is Divieto. Now, Antonio Sano, as we know, just doesn't really win with first-time starters. Watch this horse level out. Good effort.
This is when you were on vacation, so
Okay.
I'm sure you were excited to see this. And Ladambro, what did he do yesterday? Comes and wins
Good
at Saratoga, the 2nd-place finisher there. So this horse, he's got some grit to him. It'll be it's a really good race tomorrow.
Yeah, he ran a 74 buyer,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you what, if that's your thing, and I'm not necessarily saying it's mine or yours, but when you're a 2-year-old running that number in the middle of July,
You're
you're
solid.
okay.
Yeah.
You're solid. And last but not least, reunited there, Luis Sai is going to get back aboard Kentucky Derby winner Mage, as there you see him there. He rode him earlier in his career, and so he gets on as Javier Castellano. I don't know if I don't know, maybe his cell phone was dead or something, but he didn't get off, but he will ride Arcangelo.
Yep, he will. This was Holy Bull?
I feel like Fountain of Youth. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yep. But Louis Saez, this was kind of his call from the jump, and
Yes.
wasn't able to ride the horse due to other obligations.
Yeah.
They wanted him for the maiden race. Jose Morelos rode him instead. I think
That was
aside
Florida
to
Derby,
see-
excuse me, because Luis had Tapit Trice and he couldn't get, he was not on
Right.
for the Derby. So
So he knows the horse.
He certainly knows the horse, and Kieran McLaughlin, his agent and a long time great trainer, and said we always wanted to get back on.
Right.
So
And I think that, as we get closer to Travers, we'll break it down more. But it's going to be interesting because I think Louis Saez will bring a different dimension to Mage. I think he'll be a bit more aggressive than
Yeah.
we've seen him before.
yeah, people don't remember Mage wired the field going
Exactly.
7 furlongs.
Yeah.
In his debut win. So there's a lot of speed there. But
Yeah.
that's it for us. We've got 8 of them. Like we said, we didn't leave Pete a lot of time. He doesn't need a lot of time. Just a couple scratches. He's upstairs. We'll be back with you for the opener. Best of luck, and we're happy to have you aboard.